Hello guys. I don't know. I was meant to go Milk's Texan today, but I don't know what's wrong with me last couple of days. I've just been kind of like bored and lazy and fed up. No, I don't know why. Hello, Leslie. I don't know why, but that's how I've been feeling the last couple of days. I think it's due to like not having the funds to do what I want to do, because I've got other things I can do. I can, sit and do some fishing floats, but with that, I need to dig all the stuff out, the paint and the brushes, and look for the feathers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, because when I start a hobby, if I do start getting fed up and bored with it, I tend to put that stuff away and think, right, I've got enough for now, I'll wait until later and then I'll start making some more. Well, I do need to make some more floats, but I've not been looking for the gear. I know where, the paint and brushes are. I know where the special knives are. I know where some of the sticks are, which I usually use, but I don't want stick one. I want like the feather type ones, and I did get some geese feathers over the common the other day, so I could actually sit and do some. But the thing is, actually stripping the feathers, painting them, waiting for the paint to dry, and then varnishing them and stuff like that. Then I've got to put a special little pin eye on them as well. Then I've got to put what's it called, thread on them, and I don't know no thread. So that would probably be something would get started but not finished. It's like my woodworking little hobby. I went out and bought a load of like tools, like saws, knives, axes, and Christ knows what else. Cost me well over £400 to buy certain stuff to start doing woodworking, and I've got all the equipment, and I never really done anything. All I'd done was cut little bits of miniature furniture, and that was it. Now I want to do my own fishing weights. Now, okay, I've done some fishing weights. I've got the lead. I've melted it down. I bought a cast kind of thing, which you pour it into. I've made ingots, so that I think actually has lasted a little bit more than some of the other ones. And I think with me, I tend to start things, but I never carry it on or never complete them. Now, I'm not saying that, this newer hobby that I'm doing at the moment, making fishing weights isn't, going to ever work. I'm doing it, but the problem is I just don't have the material to do it, I want to experiment, I want to get copper, I want to get zinc, and, any type of metal that you melt down can be dangerous, without the right equipment. Now, I don't have a furnace. All I've got is a little gas stove and a blowtorch, and aluminium, I did try a little experiment the other day. I've got a little bit of aluminium that needs stripping, but you need a ton of it. I mean, a ton to actually melt it down to get like a good cast, kind of thing, just like with lead. Now, I'm not reading chat at the moment, by the way. Without the actual proper equipment, you can't really do much, can you? You go out and buy the essential parts. You try to buy the cheapest stuff you can get, just in case it ain't going to work out. But some of the stuff I've got, like saws and I bought like 3 different saws. Just like a normal hacksaw. I've got like I can't. I've got those ones over there. Those 2 there. Sorry, it's a mess over there. Those ones over there. they cost me that one there, the blue one. That cost me like £150. That other one cost me like £100. You know, so you know you go out and spend the money. But the thing is, although you buy the stuff that you need, you know, there's still more cost involved. You know, like wood. You know, wood isn't cheap. You know, a plank of wood could cost well, I can't talk today. A plank of wood could cost you like 30-40 quid for a piece of wood, you know, kind of thing, you know. So unless you actually doing what I've been doing, going out scavenging, you know, you might be lucky enough to find so many pieces that you do need, you know, like I went for a little walk yesterday and all I found was in someone's garden an old vacuum cleaner kind of thing, you know. And all I took off there was the cable because, you know, we all know like most cables on electronics is copper. And copper is like, you know, worth getting, you know. A lot of people are getting copper just to like scrap and use themselves or scrap and like build up a quite big like chunk of it and sell it to the scrap dealers, you know, kind of thing. And scrap dealers don't give you that much money. So you'd have to like have like a ton of copper just to make, you know, a decent, you know, like bit of money, you know, kind of thing, you know. But you know, even when you find stuff, you still know that, you know, right, I've got like probably about 10 cables I can go and strip right now if I want to, yeah. But you need tools to strip the cable, you know. You need like a cable stripper, you know, and they're not that cheap either. You know, you're talking about 30-40 quid for a cable stripper, unless you do it by hand with a like razor blade or one of those like safety blade knives, and take a hell of a long time just to strip a few pieces of the cable, which I'm gonna have to do anyway. But you know, it's the resources. You know, and if I've got like a gas cooker or even like a gas stove or a blowtorch here to melt metals down, that is only going to melt certain metals. Like, you know, as I said, like it will melt lead, like because lead melts at a very low temperature anyway. Yeah, but to melt copper, I need a furnace, and you know you can make a furnace. Yeah, I've been out. I bought the sand. I bought the plaster, and I've got cement for it as well. But you need things like something to build it with. You know, you need to like get an old gas cylinder and cut that in half, and then like make a hole for where the gas thing is. But then, let's say if I go out, let's say if I go out and get a gas cylinder right now, yeah. So I do know where their one is. I need something to cut that thing up. How am I going to cut it up? You can't cut it up with a saw. You need like a plasma cutter. And you know, a plasma cutter is like 150 pounds. Then you got to make sure that, you know, when you do cut it, you got to make sure that there's no gas in it. So you got to you know, keep the gas turned on for like half an hour at a time. And you need to do it 3 times. Make sure every little bit of gas comes off. So you need like one of those cutters. Then once you cut your holes and you cut, you know, what you've done, when you've done what you need to do, yeah, you need like enough gas cylinder full with the like, you know, the tubing and everything, yeah, just to make a furnace. And that ain't just it, you know. You got to like put all the, you know, you got to make the materials of like combining sand and plaster of Paris and whatever else, and put it all inside the container, you know, which you've cut up to make the actual furnace. And you can't use it straight away. You got to like let it air dry for about a week before you like start using it, you know, kind of thing. Unless you know, you've got like the money, which is like £225 to actually get one which is already pre-made, you know, and I mean like a proper little like furnace. Now, I've been watching a lot of videos where on YouTube where people haven't made them, but they don't really explain how they've made it. They just show you the process of making it, but they don't really tell you exactly what you need to make it, like what kind of sand, what kind of plaster, what kind of cement you use, how they cut it. Do they cut it themselves, or do they take it to someone who can cut it for them? Because like some of the videos you do see where people make their own ones, they've already got the equipment, like the plasma cutter, and like they've already got like a burner. So a lot of times they've got the equipment, and they expect people. This is what pisses me off. Right, they turn around and say how to make a furnace cheap and easy. It might be cheap and easy, but you still need a load of shit, which you're already supposed to own to make it. It's just fucking ridiculous, and you're thinking, oh yeah, if I go and buy that, and go and buy that, and go and buy that, you go and buy it. Once you got it, you think, shit, now how am I going to cut it? So you need to buy a plasma burner, and you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, if I buy that, all I need is £100 extra, and then I can go and buy a fucking furnace which is already pre-made, and you don't have to make it yourself. But then you've already paid out for your plaster, your like your cement and sand and all that kind of stuff, And so, starting a hobby can be bloody expensive, and it is expensive, to start off a hobby. But then, once you've actually and if you don't make your own burner, don't make your own furniture, you go and buy one for like £200. I think the cheapest one's 250, yeah, which is already pre-made and everything, yeah, and it's electric. You don't, it's like electric one. Then you've got to consider about the electric costs. Now, if you buy one which is like a gas one, you still got to go and buy a gas bottle and have it delivered. A gas bottle costs like £60, and how long that gas lasts for, I don't know. Like with my camping cooker and my blowtorch, I've already used 4 bottles of gas. I can't even think what I've used it on, kind of thing. Just mainly melting stuff down, actually. My throat keeps getting dry. What what's worth a lot of money? Old cats from cars. What do you mean cats? You mean batteries? Yeah, I was doing a little video the other day, Chris. I can't even remember your bloody name. I think it's Chris. A Scotsman. There is new laws, I was watching the video the other day after I did my one. Actually, I deleted my one because I was just talking about bollocks, kind of thing. I wasn't sure if you need some kind of like permit to go out scrapping, kind of thing. And I was watching the guy's video after. He goes, well, you don't really need a permit if you're just going around and asking someone, if you've got a little bit of scrap metal, which you can take home and use for yourself. But if you actually are going around asking people for it to resell it, then yes, you need a permit, yeah. And it doesn't matter how much scrap metal you're taking, And I said, well, I don't have a car, because I left a comment. I said, well, I don't have a car. I'm just going around collecting little bits, in my backpack. Just stockpile it so I can use it for my own personal use. They said, well, I don't think there's an actual law against that. But if you had a car and you was going around scrapping and you was getting cookers, fridge freezers, microwaves, TVs, any kind of scrap whatsoever, and then you was going to take it to a scrap dealer to sell, then yes, you definitely need a permit for that, yeah. There are laws where, now another thing he said on his video, yeah, what he doesn't understand, and he's trying to find out himself, if you go to someone's house and they've got like a skip in their garden, yeah, like for instance, yeah, and that house has been renovated, and you see some scrap iron in there, or scrap copper, or just like scrap electrical cables, or whatever, yeah, and you think, oh, I could do that. You go and knock on that door, and you ask that person, who owns the property, if you can take that out the scrap, and they say yeah. Are they allowed to say yeah? Because if that stuff has already gone in to a tip, into one of those big container things, yeah, who does that really belong to? Does it belong to the person who owns the tip, or is it still the belongings of the person, or like the house owner? Because although the tip belongs to a company, yeah, once you put something in a tip, although it's still on that property, the landowner's property, who has the right to turn around and say, well, yeah, because if by any chance that once the owner puts that in a tip, that belongs to that company, right? And they say, well, yeah, you can take whatever you want out of the tip without letting the company know that someone's going to take the stuff out. The company could probably take it to court because, you're taking stuff out of their tip without permission. But then again, there's the argument like, well, that tip, because it belongs to him, is on that person's property still, so it's down to the property owner to say, well, he could just turn around and say, well, no, it was on the floor outside the tip, kind of thing. And it's like, even if you ain't got a tip in someone's garden, yeah, and they've just been doing a bit of a clear out, yeah, and they've put it out near the dustbin, yeah, not in the dustbin, but either inside or outside the dustbin, waiting for for the council to come and pick it up. Do you still have permission to have that bit of scrap which they've thrown out? Because if it's not in the garden and it's outside on the pathway, that is originally owned by the government, isn't it? The council. So if you see, like a little bit of scrap metal on the pathway outside the property, then are you actually stealing metal from the council? Because it's on their land, in it. Every pathway is owned by the council, by the Queen or whatever. So are you stealing? Unless it's actually in the garden, and you can turn around and knock on the door and say, excuse me, mate, can I cut the cord from that, or can I take that bit of metal, or can I take that TV or that microwave which is sitting in your garden waiting to be picked up? And they turn around and say, yeah. As long as you ain't got a car and you're not pointing your car to take to a scrap dealer, I don't think there's a law against that, and I don't think you need a permit. Now, I can walk around with a backpack, which I've been doing, and I can go around to the industrial estate and ask them for a bit of steel, and they said I can have the steel, but they don't want me to take any aluminium as of yet because they haven't got much, and aluminium to them is their income apparently, yeah. And I did say to him, well, I did take some stuff the other day because one of the guys told me I could do, but that guy could have been anyone really, although he came out for an industrial, your industrial unit. But I thought, I'll speak to the proper person, so I've done it the proper way and legal way. And he goes, well, yeah, you take whatever you need, but just try not to take the aluminium because that is our a little bit of extra income. Now, I would have thought the steel would have been more than aluminium, but I think aluminium is a little bit more of an income than steel is, kind of thing. Now, you could walk around on wasteland, like commons and, wooded areas, foresteries and stuff like that. And you might come across where someone's fly tipped, kind of thing. Is that against the law? Because you've seen someone fly tip and there's a bit of scrap metal there, and you're going to stick it in your bag, because that land belongs to the council. are you actually stealing from the council? You know, do you need to ring up the council and say, I've just been walking along, you know, and there's someone with fly tips, you know, so I'm actually reporting it, but is it okay for me to take a little bit of that scrap before you come and collect it? And what the council going to say? Well, no, you know, that's on our land, that's our property, you can't take it, but thank you for reporting it, you know. You know, it's like the other thing, for instance, yeah, magnet fishing. You know I do magnet fishing, yeah. If I had a car, right, and I was going magnet fishing, all that scrap metal I pull out, which is helping the environment, yeah, by pulling that scrap out. If I was to take that home and do whatever I want with it, am I breaking any laws? Because like that metal could be in that lake, river, canal, whatever, for years and years and years, and it probably has been in there for years and years and years, you know. And you know, when you actually pull it out, you know, me and Alan have actually spoken to the Environment Agency when we've been doing it, yeah. And they've been happy for us to, like, you know, do magnet fishing. And you know, when we pull out a lot of stuff, yeah, we say, oh, sorry, we can't take it home, we ain't got a vehicle, you know, we can't, you know, get rid of it ourselves. But you know, we leave it in the pile, it's okay. And if you can, like, if we or you can contact like scrap dealer or, you know, the trash collector to remove it, it's okay. And they've been fine with that. But you know, how about with all the people who do magnet fishing and take their scrap home? What do they do with it? Some of the stuff that you might find might have some kind of like historical value to it, yeah. Like people have found swords and old guns and like weapons and, you know, just unusual bits and pieces like old coins, you know, for instance. But that's more milk detecting. But let's think about milk detection as well. You know, you go out and milk detect, you know, not on a farmland or something, yeah, and the farmer doesn't give a shit what you do with it. You know, do you need to have some kind of permit to take home what you find? It's all part of the same thing, in it, really. And they reckon that, you know, people going around, you know, scrapping is like costing the UK £22.2 billion in, like, apparently stealing metal. Well, stealing is when you go around and not asking permission, and you know, you're stealing it from like roof churches or fucking like monuments and stuff like that. Because I did see a video where people had stolen brass and steel from a old war memorial, and the council actually like refurbished it, got it back up and nice, and fucking people went around and stole the stuff again, you know, kind of thing. And there was a big thing about people going around stealing like manhole covers and stuff like that because of the steel, and you know, where they could make so much money on it, you know, especially like, you know, I'm not saying it's just like gypsies, but you know, scrappers themselves were doing it, you know. And that's why they've now put like you have to pay for a permit to scrap for metal. And like you said, Chris, like if you take it to a scrappy now, sometimes they will ask where you got it from, yeah. Sometimes they won't. But like in the olden days, you was able to get cash in hand for that metal, yeah. But now you can't. Once you take your scrap metal to a scrap dealer, they have to either give you a check, right, or post it electronically through a bank account. They will no longer give you cash unless you got one which kind of like turns a blind eye kind of thing. So, well, fucking, you know, kind of really like, you know, 10 quid, you know, I ain't gonna put that through the fucking bank electronically or give him a check, you know, probably cost the guy, you know, money to fucking write a check out, you know, kind of thing. So what's 10 quid, you know, kind of thing. But all those 10 quids, you know, do build up, and they are actually breaking the law themselves. But the thing is, like, you know, you start a hobby and you realise you need more than you actually do need. And it's bloody hard trying to get some of the stuff you do need, you know. You know, years ago, people had done so much, you know, renovations. But now, you know, I think it's down to like I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it, but economical situation in the UK. People just don't have the money to renovate their places right now. Because like a lot of people don't have jobs. They're on the social benefit. Most of us on universal credit, and we don't get shit on that anyway. So like trying to get the funds to actually renovate your house, you know, people ain't going to do it. Now, how much is it to like to renovate a bathroom nowadays? Put a new bathroom suite in, new bath, toilet, wash basin, shower. Now you got to put all new piping in, possibly electric cables and electric lights and stuff. That's going to cost you thousands of pounds. Who's got thousands of pounds to go out and renovate their bathroom or the kitchen or whatever right now? Not many. Even roofing costs a bloody lot of money. And I have been walking around over the last few days, and I've seen like about 5 places having roofing done, but I've not seen one piece of scrap metal going in the what's the name? Not one little bit of like lead. And the reason being is that because the roofers take that lead. They know that lead's still worth money, and they ain't going to throw that in a skip for someone to come along and take out. Because like the roofers are going to want to make whatever money they can make, out of it. They can go and step up on the ladder and think, yeah, right, well, yeah, your roof needs definitely doing, that's going to cost you like $4,500. We're going to have to put like new lead. Well, lead is getting like, in one way, I don't think they can put lead on people's houses anymore because, they are trying to stop lead being used in the UK and in other countries as well. So they won't use lead, they use tin. But that lead is still worth money to the roofers because they can send that, they can take that to a scrapyard, get like X amount on it, and that scrap dealer will probably ship it over to a third world country for them to use, kind of thing. Because lead is still used in certain countries, although we ain't supposed to be using lead, even with fishing weights, they're actually going to be stopping fishing weights being made out of lead. I think they're going to be doing like copper, maybe aluminium, maybe in future steel, I don't know. But, even to like melt down copper, aluminium, steel, you need a furnace, which I don't have. And, even if I was to make one, it's still going to cost me money because I need like 2 gas cylinders, one empty, one full. Then I need to buy a bloody like plasma cutter to cut the hole, cut the top off the old gas cylinder, which hasn't got none in. Then I've got to make a hole at the bottom. Then I've got to like make all that concrete plaster, mixture and put that in. Then I might have to buy that either fire brick or fire blanket to put in as well. It's all costing money, kind of thing. Money I don't have. So I'm thinking I've started the fucking like hobby, which I shouldn't have started because I can't fucking afford it, And I've spent out quite a bit of money already on buying like bits of lead, because I bought some off eBay. I bought some lead off a scrap dealer around the corner with me. And I paid for cement, 2 types of plaster, sand. I probably spent well over £100, more than that actually. Because what was I'll say about £220, £250. Because I bought a camping cooker, I bought the blowtorch, I bought I'll say about 12 cans of gas. No, I'll say about 160, 170 I paid out on bits and pieces. And actually, because my mum's helped me out as well. Because my mum bought me a fridge freezer, as you know. My one fucked up. And I could scrap that, myself, but I kept it. So I'm using that as a storage for putting bits in there for the hobby I'm doing at the moment, yeah. Like the blowtorch, the lead, an iron brush I had to pay for, get all that dirt and grime off like whatever I do bring home. Me safety glasses. I had to buy like safety gloves. I had to buy a lot of stuff. I didn't want to leave it all in the kitchen, so I used the old little fridge as a storage, and I've put it all in there, which is all on the balcony. But I'm sitting here thinking, man, this is like going to be an expensive hobby. You know, it's like when I started woodworking and making my fishing floats, that was expensive because I thought I might be able to make fishing floats. And I'm a kind of a generous guy. I do give out stuff as well, free. But I'm thinking, well, if I was to sell it, am I going to make my money back? Which I've not made my money back on. Even the stuff I bought for making my fishing floats with those two saws and like a handsaw and chisels and paint and paintbrush and shit like that. I paid a lot of money out on that. I probably spent about £300-400 on that shit when I had the money. And like, even when you got all the stuff to do the hobby, you get excited. You want to do the stuff. You want to like start making things, but eventually you got to like think, well, I've made enough now. I won't make no more until maybe a couple of months, maybe 6 months later or something. And when you do start running out, and you need to make some more fishing floats or fishing weights or whatever, yeah, you're still fucking just too lazy. That's what I've been feeling, too lazy to do it. So I do need some more fishing floats made, but I've been going out. I've been going out looking around for like scrap, to be honest with you, and I'm not finding nothing because people just don't have the money to go out and spend money on new things. To throw the old stuff away. I'm pretty sure some of the old people still got the old fucking analog TVs that they use. And they have 4 channels on them still. And cookers and stuff like that. I can't carry a fucking cooker home. Come on, And there's a lot of copper in cookers and ovens. If I had to buy a car, then yeah, I could bring it home and bring it up and fucking like strip it and and get a permit and make a hell of a lot of money scrapping, kind of thing. But I don't drive. I ain't got a car. I don't even have a push bike. Well, I do, but it's completely knackered. The bike is completely knackered. All the gears are rusted up. Both tyres are fucking flat. And I did go across to like one guy who does like scrapping himself, but he does like car boot fairs. And I remember speaking to him early last year about buying a bike off him, and he said, yeah, 15 quid. So I thought, I'll ask him again how much he wants for a bike. He's double the price. He wants like 30 quid for a bike now. I said, I'll have to think about it, mate. I don't think I've got 30 quid. And the reason why I want to get a bike now, because it's going to be a lot quicker for me to like ride around and like, if you want to call it scavenge, hunt down for like scrap metal. It's going to like, I could probably like with a push bike go around looking, for that material I want a lot quicker than it is like just walking around, kind of thing. I can probably buy a cheap second-hand bike for about 30 quid, but I don't have 30 quid to spend. I have to walk around now because I don't have the funds to go out and, travel around on buses, what I normally do. Like I ain't done nothing with Alan for a couple of weeks because I ain't got money. I told him. But we are going to be meeting up next week. We're going to go and do some metal detecting Thursday. But it's all cost, kind of thing. And I was sitting there thinking, well, if I didn't spend that on, a gas cooker, a blowtorch, 2 types of cement, the sand, the concrete, and other bits and pieces like wire brushes and a few tools I had to buy as well, all that money could still be in my bank account, and I wouldn't have had to worry about my food for this month. But that's me, I tend to think, I don't think really, I don't use my little pee-wee brain. If I want something, I'd rather go out and buy it, thinking like, yeah, I might be able to, use that. I might be able to, like, later sell some bits on and make a little bit of money, kind of stuff. But I tend to don't want to do that now. If I'm going to make something, I'd rather keep it for myself. Because like, if I made like 100 fishing weights, I'm always losing weights, kind of thing. But if I had like a steady way of like getting like lead or copper and I say to melt that copper down and make copper fishing weights. And yes, they do make fishing weights out of copper. Look on eBay. No, I could like make like 200 or 300 fishing weights and go around the lakes and probably sell them to people who wants to buy them off me, kind of thing. But I wouldn't make a lot of money out of it because if you look on eBay now, you can get like 30-gram fishing weights for like a $5. But if you go into a fishing tackle shop, you're paying like £2, about £1.50, £2 for one fishing weight, and that's like also like a 30-gram one. So if I was to like had the material and made like 100 fishing weights, right, and I sold them at £2 each, they'd be 200 quid, yeah. But the thing is, you got to realise you got to take out the costs of making those fishing weights, like the cost of electricity, fuel, cost of travelling, the cost of actually getting that material, either copper or lead or whatever material you use, kind of thing. Then you got to take the cost out of actually going to those places where you might think that someone might want to buy them off you. So really, I wouldn't be making 200 quid. I'll probably be making 50 quid if that, kind of thing. Is it worth it? Not to say like lead is very, very scarce here in the UK right now. It's okay in America, because like the Americans, they still have like, big America, it's a lot bigger than the UK. There's a lot more cars and like, buses and fucking lorries and, motorbikes and stuff like that. Well, I don't know if a motorbike uses the wheel weight. I suppose they do, I don't know. But, they got a lot more people over there. And some people, like one family would have like 3 or 4 cars. While over here, we'd be lucky like to have 2 cars, kind of thing. And, looking on the videos, that people are still getting a shitload of like wheel weights. But the thing is, it's not just wheel weights made out of lead. You've got gun ranges over there. And a lot of bullets are used that for copper and lead, aren't they? So, like, people still get shitloads of like lead bullet casings. And, I watched one the other day where a guy went out there. He goes, we used to go to a gun range and we used to have to pick up the lead casing one by one, all right, and put it in the bucket. And that's back-breaking hard work. Then they made a sieve. Then they went into a new kind of like gun range, which is a lot better for them. And they got permission to go and like, dig up old bullet casings. And they bought they took back home £200 of bullet casings. And it took them half an hour to do it. And it's all lead. All fucking lead, So like, people in America like, can get lead rather easily, while over here it's fucking hard, I know like you might have a little bit of lead piping, in the older houses which have not still been converted or renovated. So you might get a little bit of lead pipe in there. Just walking around or going on a bus, you've got like little bits of lead on the roofing. And I'm thinking, Christ, man, I was looking at one house the other day, and I said, if I could get the lead off that one roof, that'd keep me going for, a good couple of months, kind of thing. And if I could get it off that whole row of houses, that would keep me going for years. And that's just one road, one fucking road. But now with the renovations now, I think, as I say, like with a roofing, if they're going to have the roof completely, stripped and redone, that lead will be kept by the roofing company. They will like set it onto a scrappy and make a little bit of extra money themselves. And instead of putting new lead up, they will pop tin up. Or maybe steel, I don't know. Maybe they might not even put nothing up, metal wise. I've seen like houses where they ain't got no metal there at all. It's just like concrete. So no, it is hard to get lead over here. Bloody hard. I was going to go to that place today, metal detecting, where I found that 6 kilos on that common. But I was just too bloody tired and lazy, When I did wake up, I thought, Give another half hour, and I fell back to sleep. The only thing that woke me up was down in the trash shed. Um, they put a new door up on it because I put a complaint a couple of weeks ago about the door. It's falling apart. I keep leaving it open. When it gets a bit windy, it's rattling like crazy. And they actually got someone down here who replaced the door today, and that was like, bang, 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 bang. There's me trying to, just grab a few more hours sleep, and I actually didn't wake up till about an hour ago. Actually, I thought, oh fuck, it's too late to go out now. So I got all my gear. I sorted all my gear out last night to go out today, but I just felt too lazy to do it. So I'll probably be going tomorrow. I don't know, but being weekend, there's going to be a lot more people. Oh no, tomorrow's Friday, isn't it? So yeah, I can still go tomorrow. Yeah, true, Marley. But the thing is, I have got a lot of clutter, like you say. Yeah, there won't be no way in hell I'd be able to move all this stuff out into the living room. It wouldn't fit in there, put it that way. And I am actually going through some of the clutter. Like I started off with the balcony, yeah. Right, I had started off with the balcony, and I threw a load of scrap. And I realised after throwing all that scrap, I could have salvaged some of that because a lot of it was like metal stuff. I could have got copper out of it. I could have got possibly those on some of the hard drives and stuff like that. You got like little contact points, which is silver. Fucking me, I didn't realise how many things I might have had those contacts on with silver, and I could have like salvaged those, melted that down, and sold that on eBay or something, or took it to like a jewelry shop and sold it, kind of thing. I would have only probably been like grams, but it still would have got me a little bit of money. But I threw like 8 bags and 4 boxes of shit from my balcony the other day. Well, about 2 weeks ago, and I sent pictures of of my balcony, all nicely kind of cleared out to my sister. I went, "Hello, clever little boy." Now, I said, I hope you kind of like are happy that I've sorted out that balcony now. But the thing is, I started like putting stuff out there now because I've been going around collecting scrap metal. There's quite a bit of steel, I think, is on there. Well, not a lot, probably like, if I put it in weight wise, probably about 3 kilos of steel. But I've put that on where I cleared everything off from earlier. Now, I can't really use steel at the moment because I don't have a furnace which will make it hot enough to melt it down. And, the only reason I got it was to use it. And I can't use it because I don't have like one of those plasma cutters, or the ones where you actually like join, plasma join, or whatever it's called, to join the metal together. Because I thought if I get some of those, I can like make like a little table for the actual furnace to stand on. So I don't want the furnace sitting on the floor, kind of thing. And I was going to make a big one. That's why I was able to get myself like I thought it was a gas cylinder, but it's not. It's an acetic cylinder. And even though I've got that, I still need to cut it open. I don't have nothing to cut it open with. And I need a plasma cutter. And looking on eBay, plasma cutters like £100, which I don't have. So but I've got it there, because I might find someone who might have one. I could be walking down the road and see someone with a plasma cutter. And I think, oh, maybe if I take it down him and offer him cut the cans of beer, maybe he might be able to do it. Or one of these guys around here might have one, that they might be able to do it for me. And just give them a few beers. I'm actually getting rid of some of my stuff as it is. Like some of my haunted dogs I'm getting rid of. I'm trying to get rid of some of those, but I'm not getting taken as that at the moment. No one's taking nothing off me. I do have background stories on them, but no one's interested in them at the moment. So with any hobby, even paranormal, people might want to collect paranormal stuff, but if they ain't got the money, they ain't going to get it, are they? And paranormal has gone downhill kind of bit. It's not so much that I'm not doing it at the moment. I did do one the other day. I was going to do one Sunday, but I just couldn't be bothered. It wasn't so much me not being bothered. I was just bloody too tired to do it, kind of thing. So I've been out walking and walking and walking and walking. Over the last several days, I say about 5 days, I've done like 55,000 steps. And I didn't even realise it. It's only because I've got one of those step meter things on my phone. And one day it popped out, it goes, congratulations, you've just done 14,000 steps. And I thought, fuck me, Jesus Christ. But I'm going through bits and pieces, It's not that I'm being lazy constantly, just the last couple of days I have been out walking crazy amount of I've been out like 2 or 3 hours looking for like some scrap bit of metal I can bring home and use. And even when I do find it, I'm too bloody tired to actually do anything with it. I just put it out on the balcony in a container and just stockpile it for now. Now I am going to go into the cupboard. There's like 2 boxes of cables in there, which I will be going through possibly this weekend if I don't go out camping, fishing. And I'm going to go through those, but I'm not going to be throwing them away. I'm going to be stripping them for the copper. And if I, get if I get a lot of copper and I know I ain't going to need all that copper, then I'll probably take it around the scrappy and see what he's going to offer me for it. And if he says, well, you got like 2 kilos, I'll give you a couple of quid for it. I'm not going to bother. I'll rather wait until I get a stockpile, like about 10 kilos, and then take it round there and say, well, how much you're going to give me now? Because you'll probably get more for the higher weight than you are with a lower weight, kind of thing. And scrappies are kind of like fussy. You can't just take copper around there thinking you're going to get a high price. You ain't going to. You've got like 3 different types of copper. You've got like your clean copper, which is Mark 1. You've got Mark 2 copper. You've got Mark 3 copper. Mark 3, I think, is the copper where you got like from renovations, you've got solder and you might have a bit of brass attached to it. I think that's Mark 3. Mark 2 is copper where you got like, the plastic casing still on it. And then you got your clear copper, which is Mark 1. So depending on what they want, you'll get paid a higher price for the more cleaner copper it is than the dirty shit, And then copper with like solder on it, they might class that as 1 or 2. It depends on how much that you're getting, how much you're willing to get rid of, kind of thing. But I can't even do that unless I've got a permit to do that. I need a permit to sell anything to a scrap dealer. And that's like, when I was looking on YouTube last night, they were asking like £70. The council was like saying £70 to go out selling scrap metal. I ordered something on fucking Wish like a month ago, and it still hasn't turned up. There's only some fishing weight things I wanted to try out and see if I could copy them and make them myself. Now these are just some what's names to make ice. Don't you see that? I was looking how much molds were, because when I got my little fridge freezer, I had like this little mold which makes about 10 little ice cubes, because it's been hot, I've been like drinking a lot of cold stuff, eating cold stuff, which I don't think we really should be doing. And the fridge freezer's pretty good because I can empty that mould, put water in it, put it back in within half an hour. It's completely frozen again. But so like I'd rather keep any kind of like metal I might have. Like I've got an old PC I can scrap out as well, and I've even got like a bunch of memory cards which I've put up and no one's interested in them. And with memory cards, you got the gold teeth on them, haven't they? And people buying them for like the gold, but no one's taking nothing. So, and I'm being charged for like fucking listing stuff, and I've not sold shit hardly. So just ain't worth it, I don't think. And I'm trying to get rid of some of the stuff, but no one's interested in it. I'm more of a fool myself by buying the stuff that I want to make a new hobby kind of thing. But if I didn't think about it, I wouldn't have to go and buy it, and I won't be moaning and bitching and saying, well, I'm only eating like 3 times a week this week, kind of thing. And I don't have money to keep travelling around because I'm spending that money on buying the bits that I think I need when I don't really need it. I'm one of those people thinking, I'm bored with that. Let's start a new hobby kind of thing. What's wrong with the old hobby? Someone said, well, you get bored of that. You want to expand. You want to do different things. And I'm that kind of person who wants to try different things before it gets too late. Fuck me, I'm 55 now. I could be dead tomorrow. And some of the things I've never really even tried in my life, like smelting metal, never done that until I started like melting lead. But that's not really class smelting, Smelting's with a furnace making things out of like metal itself. You can make artwork out of like making things out of metal. Not that I'd ever make it, but I've been lazy the last 2 days. I did go out. I did have a walk around yesterday, and I snipped a long bit of like cable for an old vacuum cleaner. But the trash had already been picked up from the refuge, so there wasn't nothing around. I thought, well, this fucking pointless. Now I know. Wednesdays is like collection day kind of thing. But I even went out on Thursday and like Monday didn't find fuck all. So the only thing I'm seeing, which I could collect, is shitload of like soda cans, beer cans. People are dumping out so many of those because of the hot weather. And I could bring a shitload of soda cans home, but I've been watching videos where a guy made ingots out of 2,500 soda cans, and it weighed about 12, 14 kilos. By the time he melted it all down, he got about 5 kilos of like melted ingots, and that was it. Because all the rest was like fucking waste shit, And then you need the space to put all that like can collecting, kind of thing. And last night I was watching a whole load of like YouTube channels, videos on like refuge and like the situation the world's in at the moment, like with all the plastic. People coming up with brilliant ideas on how to like recycle plastic. Like plastic bottles, not plastic cans, but anything to do with plastic, like detergent bottles and stuff like that. There's just way too much stuff, in the third country. Like we've been sending our shit over to China, in other countries, and we've been doing it for years and years and years. But now China is putting a ban on global imports because they've just got too much shit over there, and it's our fault, because we got no respect, and we have not concentrated and considering in getting rid of our own shit in the right in the right way of doing it, kind of thing. We've always relied on a third world country to do our crap, but now these countries are getting so like materials. Don't tell me YouTube's fucked up. YouTube's fucked. Is YouTube fucked? It's still working. Because YouTube just screwed up. Yeah, like we give so much shit, billions of tons of our crap. It's e-waste. And I do watch a guy on YouTube, who goes around collecting a lot of e-waste, and he recycles it. He does stuff with it. Yeah, tear it down and then take it down to the scrap dealer and make a bit of money out of it. But I've not seen anyone do e-waste on YouTube channels where they've been recycling plastic, apart from a couple. Like, people come out and thought of ideas. Like, one video I was watching last night is bubblegum, chewing gum. There's billions of tons of bubblegum being thrown on the floor and not being recycled. Well, some woman actually had an idea of bubblegum, yeah? She collected, going around collecting a shitload of bubblegum, and she created a bubblegum bin. Just a little round bubblegum bin made out of bubblegum. Because bubblegum is plastic. And she made bubblegum bins for a particular country, well, a particular council, because it is UK. And it kind of took off, kind of thing. And this bubblegum bin is being used all over the UK, and is also being used in different countries as well, yeah. And the bubblegum bin is also recyclable, because they ain't going to just take the bubblegum out and put the bin, back where it was, because it's going to be unhygienic. So what they do is they get the bubblegum bin, they put it on a conveyor belt, they kind of chop it all up, and then melt it down, and they make new bubblegum bins to take out and pour into the streets for people to put their bubblegum back in. It's like a bubblegum trash bin, yeah? Instead of having it all over the floor. And not only that, would you believe they are actually now making things out of bubblegum? They're making shoes, handbags, and other things out of bubblegum. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, man. They even said that a 16-year-old boy in the Philippines have thought about making things out of plastic as well, There's just too much plastic everywhere, Over here we began that E-Ocean or whatever it was, yeah, where people have been going to Haiti to do surfing or something, yeah, and they saw that there's just too much shit on the coast. They started picking it up, and they made a really big multi-billion business out of it, kind of thing. And they got fucking boats here, there, and everywhere, with their logo on it. But no, they're not the only company that's doing it. There's loads of companies that are actually trying to salvage, well, not salvage, but recycle plastic. But there's just way too much plastic, Big companies don't want the plastic because it's just not worth their while, apparently. They ain't going to make a decent income, but there are a lot more companies that are now getting interested in resalvaging and recycling plastic. But I think they're going to try and stop using plastic because it's just too much of it. Way too much of it, I think they're going to start banning plastic here in the UK in the next 10 years or something, apparently. But it's just way too much waste, that certain countries have stopped there. I think in America, there's certain parts of America where they stopped using plastic bags now. And I think in parts of China as well, if any company gets caught making plastic bags, or even someone walking along is carrying a plastic bag, they can get fined because they're banning plastic bags. I think what they're trying to do is get us to use more kind of recyclable stuff, which can be recycled more easier than plastic can, because plastic takes hundreds of years apparently to degrade, but paper and cardboard kind of can be degraded, you know, can be torn down, you know, while it's been buried on landfills within like a matter of like months, even years. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to make like more carrier bags out of like cardboard or paper or something like that, you know, something which is more kind of like degradable kind of thing, you know. Plastic will be very kind of like not so much rare, but they are going to try to stop, you know, using plastic in certain things. Though they are still going to use it for like, you know, different kind of industries like, you know, hospitals and doctors and stuff like that. But, you know, they are going to stop, you know, going to be using it for like home use, you know, like the thing is how they're going to use what they're going to put like detergent and washing up liquid and, you know, other kind of fluids in. Is it all going to be glass? Because glass is kind of like more kind of like easy to be recycled than plastic is, isn't it? I don't know. But I know they're going to stop using a lot of plastic now because there's just too much of it. You know, washing up on a shore, you know, on the shore. There's like I was watching one video. I can't remember what it's called now, but they called one island Plastic Island because it's covered all the way around the plastic because of the where people have been throwing it around and like, you know, the conditions of the tidal waves have been like washing it up, and the whole island is covered with fucking like plastic, you know. And it's only because like a couple of people have decided that, you know, this needs to be cleared up. They got help from, you know, people and businesses and volunteers to start clearing that island up. But once they clear it up, they've got to find a company that's willing enough to take it in and try to recycle it. And like where people are making ideas of like recycling, there's one which I watched last night here, based in somewhere in Africa. Several of the lakes were completely covered with nothing but plastic. Plastic everywhere, yeah. And it's only because one guy had an idea on how to salvage those plastic bottles, and it was a fucking good idea actually. He started making e-waste plastic boats for fishermen, and it was giving these boats out freely because it's just like empty kind of like bottles, you know, kind of thing. And he got like quite a few people interested to help him, you know, to recycle these bottles. And it takes like an hour to make an actual bottle boat. He calls it e-bottle boat or something, yeah. And he's made like God knows how many bottles, boats, and given to like fishermen for free. And I think, oh, hang on a minute, that's a good idea, but what happens if that bottle boat fucking starts breaking down? All you got to do is get some empty bottles and repair it that way. It's not going to cost nothing, is it? So, you know, people are coming up with pretty good ideas on how to like recycle their plastic. There's just too much fucking plastic everywhere. You know, even with the help with people what are doing it right now, they're only eating around about 10% of the plastic waste, which is, you know, covering the whole planet at the moment. I thought, yeah, the only other way you might be able to recycle that fucking plastic is start, you know, shipping it over towards the sun and letting it like burn, kind of like send it out, get like a fucking rocket and put it in the fucking big like plastic container or something, yeah, and fire that out towards the sun, and like, you know, as soon as it gets to the sun, it's just gonna evaporate in it in one way. There might be one way of getting rid of some of that shit, but that's going to cost like, you know, the government billions of pounds to make a fucking rocket to send it to the fucking moon, not the moon, the sun, to just like, you know, burn it out. But then that might cause some kind of pollution in the atmospheric kind of thing, you know. Oh no. But like, you know, it ain't just plastic, you know, to the third world, you know, it's e-waste, like, you know, computer components like monitors, printers, scanners and PCs and laptops and other stuff, yeah. Everything that we got in a house has something toxic in. Did you know that? Like your microwave, that's got beryllium or something in it, yeah, which is toxic. You take that apart and you don't know what you're doing. So, you know, like on my other video where I was doing the strip down of my microwave, yeah, you know, one of the ghost hunting program channels came over and said, "Be careful because of beryllium." Yeah, I know, mate. I've been watching. You know, beryllium is bloody like very toxic. But you know, you got to have a lot of that, you know, to even cause any kind of damage to, you know, health. And it won't bother me because I've got a lot of fucking health problems as it is. So, you know, a little bit of beryllium or whatever it is ain't going to worry. I said, if it's okay if I'm doing it like, you know, 10, 20 microwaves a week or something, yeah, or maybe more, then you're going to have to wait. But I've only done one microwave. But you got like mercury in certain parts of your electronics, you know, you got beryllium, you got lead, mercury, zinc, you know, all of it's toxic. You know, we don't realise, you know, your TV's got stuff in there which is toxic. You've got your microwave, you've got your cooker, you know, everything. And we don't realise that, you know. But it's, what they're trying to say is that when you've actually got like a great big build up of it, then that's going to cause you problems. But yeah, I was going to go out today, but I just felt too tired and too lazy. So I've been walking around too much this week. So I must have done like 55,000 steps over the last several days. You know, it does put a lot of pain on my knees sometimes walking around. You know, if I had the money, I'd go and buy a second-hand bike. But then, you know, riding the bike with your knee going up and down, that's probably going to cause me a bit of a problem. And they usually say, you know, you get more exercise walking than you do when you're riding. So, you know, I could go around to that industrial estate and get some more stuff if I wanted to, but I ain't going to bother. You know, I could go around and get as much as I wanted and just stockpile it, but I ain't going to until I know what I'm going to be doing with it. I don't be stockpiling it and just leave it there, not doing nothing with it. So I do need a proper furnace, either built or, you know, bolt. And like, you know, to buy one, you know, a gas furnace one, you got to, you know, buy that, and then you got to buy your gas cylinders. And it's a bit noisy, that one. And I don't like making too much noise, although my neighbours are fucking noisy. But I'd rather get like a electric one. But then it's still that's going to cost me money, fucking running it on electric, you know, kind of thing. Depends on what kind of metal I'm going to be like melting down. But I'm actually going to only consider about doing lead and copper and maybe zinc. But zinc's more toxic than the other two, so I don't know about zinc. You know, I've got two people that might keep their old zinc wheel weights for me, and maybe any old lead ones I might come across. But I've not been to the second one. You know, he said give me a couple of weeks. Well, it's been a couple of weeks. I might go up there Monday and ask you he's got anything for me. But that's going to cost me to go over there. And I don't going over there just to find out if he's got something and he ain't got nothing. So it's going to wait until I decide to go over and do some milk detecting again, which will probably be next week. And take my milk detector and go on another part of the common which I know of. And if he hasn't, then at least I ain't going to spend, you know, part of my day wasting it for nothing. For the rest of the day, I'll probably do some milk detecting over there. One not far from me, you know, down in the common. He said he gets more of the stuck on ones, you know. They don't do the ones which are like clamped on now. It's more stick on ones. And they have more zinc than anything else. So I said, we'll still keep them. I might find some use for, you know, smelting down zinc. And I don't know what the temperature is for, like, smelting down zinc. I'll have to check up on the video on that one. I might even just collect the zinc up and, you know, just give it to the scrap man later, you know, see if I can get anything for it. Do some kind of exchange on it. Well, I'll give you zinc for some lead or copper. So, I could go out and find a crap load of stuff right now, if I had a car. But then you've got to consider about the cost of running your car, going around, and like putting all the stuff in your car. Well, I wouldn't need a car, I need a truck, man, or I fucking luck. So I won't start until that fucking truck's full. But then, like, you've got to go to a scrap dealer. And then, like, you might be lucky enough to make 50 quid a day or something, kind of thing. Because, like, although you're going around collecting a load of scrap dealers will give you X amount on any kind of particular metals anyway. Unless you was doing it and making things out of it yourself and then selling it, by making those things out of that metal, then great, you probably make an income out of it. But, to make a proper income scrapping, you need to go out every day, wind, rain, sunny, whatever, to you make a fucking living out of it. Some people do make a good living out of it. Some people just do it as like a little hobby or something, But mine is more of a hobby, and I just want to collect the stuff which I think I might use, over a certain amount of time, kind of thing. I've got about 7 kilos of lead ingots in the kitchen in my cupboard. Now, I was going to put that in the fridge in the balcony, but the fridge is a little bit full up at the moment, so I've got to do some sorting out in there later. But, 7 kilos, I could make about 300 fishing weights, probably 200, 300. Depends on the size of the fishing weights. But I also want to make my own, casts. So, I've made different shapes and sizes of the fishing weights. But then once I've done them, what am I going to do with them? Am I going to keep them myself, or am I going to sell them or swap them with other fishing guys, for some fishing tackle or something? So I need a decent rod. I need a decent reel. So if I was to sell fishing weights for £1 each or something, yeah, I could keep all that money and buy myself some decent fishing gear later. Just don't get, fishing license is £30, which I've only just paid for in March. I don't want to stop doing fishing, because otherwise if I stop fishing, I've paid that 30 quid on license. I'm not doing shit, am I? Catch later, Jackie. But I'll probably stay in for the rest of the night. I don't know what I'm going to cook for dinner. I'll probably have a sandwich, actually, because I went out and done a little bit of shopping, and I bought one of those packets of pork, which had 4 bits of pork in for £2 something, and I cooked all that last night, stuck some herbs and cheese on it, and all that. So tonight it's going to be like a ham and cheese sandwich, and a bottle of, well, not a bottle, but a can of drink, ice cold. At the moment, I'm just drinking coffee. Well, I also want to go and check that door outside as well, because I've not been down there to check how good that door is. Plus, I need to throw some garbage out anyway, so that's my excuse to go down there. But yeah, day to day, you do get a bit bored and fed up, because you don't know what you're going to do yourself. So I've been out and done a lot of walking, looking for scrap. Some people turn around and say, well, it's big and well, it ain't, because you're helping the environment. Because if I weren't doing what I was doing, that could go in landfill, and how long does it take for a piece of iron, steel, lead, zinc to kind of degrade in a landfill? Fucking years and years and years and years and years and years. Hundreds of years sometimes, yeah. Look at some of the steel that, people found metal detecting from fucking Viking, or from the Iron Age and stuff like that. It's taken hundreds of years for that, to even kind of degrade, rot, kind of break up and, kind of thing. So really, I'm helping the environment in that way as well by going around and collecting some of that shit and bringing it home and trying to use it for my own use. It's like when you go out magnet fishing, you might find some bits and pieces what might be interesting, and you bring it home and put it in like your own little collection kind of thing. But most of it does get kind of like left behind, and the council comes around and removes it themselves. But some people are good enough to take their crap home if they've got a car or a truck. There's one guy, I can't think what his name is. He goes out magnet fishing, and everything he finds he puts in his trailer and takes home, and once he's got enough he takes it to a scrap dealer and sells it. So at least he takes all his shit home. Some of us can't take it home. We can't take home fucking like 10-foot poles or iron bars on the back of our fucking backpack, can we? Smaller bits of scrap we put in the bin if we don't want it. But if it's something of like interest, then we bring it home. At least we're helping the environment in whatever way we're doing. So that's why I don't understand, right? With permits, if you're gonna be like kind of like salvaging things out of people's gardens or skips for your own personal use, and you're not going to sell it, you want it for your own use to make something or repair something, or to even like, what's that word? Not so much to recycle, but to repair it, make it look like new, then yeah, I don't think the government should really make you pay for a license to just go knock on someone's door for a little bit of scrap metal, kind of thing. I can understand them like making you buy a license if you're going to go around and collect a shitload of scrap to sell, yeah, then you do need it. But for your own personal use, and you can prove it, you're going to like recycle it in your own particular way. Like if you got a microwave and like you had another microwave exactly the same, you knew what's wrong with it, and you was able to repair one microwave out of two, same ones, then and then like get the scrap deal of it, free of charge, and there's no money involved. I can't see the problem is, because you're actually helping to recycle. But I'm going to shoot off. I'm going to get up. I'm going to put that shit in there. What's the name? No. You can, no, because with that, Leslie, yeah, you got to be burning stuff like for hours and hours, yeah. If it's only like half an hour, just to melt something down, then you're not going to get that toxic. You ask your neighbours to close your windows, and that's what I do. Especially upstairs. If she got a window open, I just say, "Can you close your window for half an hour just while I melt this down?" I'm not out there fucking like 2, 3, 4 hours. I'll melt down which I want to melt down, and that's it. Over and done with. And like the last meltdown I done with the lead, I was out there for about 45 minutes, and that is not going to cause enough, toxic to interfere with anyone's like, bodily functions. It's where they say like, if you're melting down constantly, day in and day out, and you're out there melting for like several hours, like, I think they kind of exaggerate, to be honest with you. It's when you're working with like lead on a daily basis, and you're like working with it like several hours a day, then that's where you're going to get like, that toxic into your lungs if you're not wearing like, a mask, respirator or whatever, that's when it's going to like affect you. If you're going to be sitting out there, melting a piece of lead for half an hour, twice a week, that's not going to affect you, no way. Because it's in an open space, isn't it? It's an open space. And like, the wind's blowing that little bit of minor toxic gas away from you. It's not going to be going up and into someone else's houses. So I kind of like disagree. I agree with it's going to be like constant, yeah, like 6, 7 hours constant burning every day of the week, then yeah, it's going to cause like, you know, some kind of like toxicity to someone's like health, more me than anyone else. But if you're only out there for half an hour, once, maybe twice a week, and you know, I'm using like a respirator, it ain't going to cause me no harm. And it's not going to cause the neighbours any harm if they've got the window shut. So, you know, and I ain't even melted nothing down for a week. I've done it all over a week ago. And I ain't even done no more stuff yet. So, no, if I was to get, you know, when I get enough copper to melt down, I'm only going to be out there for about maybe an hour to melt down what I want. You know, even if I got more, say if I had like 10 kilos of copper, I'm not going to sit out there melting down 10 kilos of copper. I'm just going to melt down maybe a kilo at a time, you know, kind of thing. Wear me a respiration mask and say to the neighbour, say, hey, can you close your window for half hour? And that's it, done. Now, I could spend the whole day out there melting it all down in one day and saving doing it, you know, bit by bit kind of thing. But I always let the neighbour know when I'm going to do something anyway, so there's no problems there. And she's okay with it anyway. Because if she was going to be funny about it, man, I could have fucking grassed up on several things by now. But I'm not that kind of person. You know, there's no smoking in the hallways. I've caught her smoking in the hallway several times. You know, the noise she's made, you know, noise pollution. I could have done that as well, you know, kind of thing. You know, and it's not so much her, but it's her friends walking in, smoking weed. Now I have asthma, right? I've gone out there and like you can smell that stench of that weed when they actually smoked it. And I did put a little complaint into her one day. I said, well, you know, I don't mind them smoking it, but can they smoke it outside? And I have not actually smelled it for, you know, several weeks now, but, you know, I could have fucking said things about that, but I never have done. So if she wants to be funny over me melting a little bit of metal outside, and I can turn around and say, right, okay, you want to be a bitch? Let me ring up the housing association and tell them what you've been up to. And she ain't going to fucking like that. So it's more like give and give, you know. I've given into what she's been doing. She's got to give into what I'm doing. And I'm not out there 7 days a week melting metal down 3-4 hours a day, you know, Colin. I've done it like twice in a matter of like a month. And that's it. That's all I have done. Now, even when I tried melting down that little bit of aluminium, you know, I'm not stripped at all. I've only done like 4 or 5 bits of aluminium, which I got from that industrial site. I just wanted to see how easy it was. If I could like melt it down with a blowtorch, it can be done. But, you know, I've not stripped it all. And I need to strip it all before I actually like melt it down. I was just doing a test run. And, you know, 5 minutes. That's all it took. And her windows were practically closed anyway. Just had like a little gap in it. So, you know, if I had like, you know, kilos of metal, you know, aluminium, lead, or even copper, I was going to melt down. You know, I knew it was going to like be 2 or 3 hours. I'd let her know in advance. I'll say, hey, I'm going to be like melting some metal down. Can you have your window shut, you know, for a couple of hours? And that'd be it. And she'll say, yeah, no problem. But anyway, I'm going to go sort my crap out. Go and put that rubbish downstairs. Oh, did you know, right? I did not know. I was sitting here thinking the other day, crisp packets, right? Crisp packets. That's made out of aluminium, isn't it? But it's not. It's actually plastic, right? Now I thought, well, why don't they like recycle that? You know, how do they recycle that? So I did a YouTube search last night on crisp packets, and would you believe there was a couple of videos on crisp packets? Walker's Crisps actually recycle crisp packets. I didn't know that. And what you do, you go to Walker's website, you get their free post address, and you send off crisp packets, and they're not worried just, themselves, Walkers. They take any crisp packet that you get, you send it to them free through the post and recycle it. I didn't know that. But fuck, am I going to go through my bin and, like, through all that garbage and, like, rotten food? From tomorrow, I'll probably, like, real recycle crisp packets. I can't, melt them down because it's plastic, But I will probably be recycling those. Milk containers and stuff like that. There's no way I can recycle that apart from putting in the trash for them to, like, recycle themselves. But crisp packets, yeah. I didn't know that until last night when I did a YouTube search on it. All you got to do is go to Walker's Crisp site, and there should be a free post address on there. And all you got to do is put all your crisp packets in an envelope and send it to them, and they'll recycle it. So that's a good way of recycling crisp packets. Right, anyway, I'm going to go. I'll catch you later. So,